Bitcoin was worth basically nothing in 2009 to 2010. Then, by May 2010, it jumped to being worth less than 0.01 cent. Famously, because 2 pizzas were ordered, for which 10,000 Bitcoin was paid. The amount in March 2013 would come to $750,000. Today would be a lot higher than that. By early 2011, it had jumped to 1 cent, from less than 0.01 cent. So parity with the dollar. 2013, it's been up to over $1,000. So this link is given in the description below the video. In short, Bitcoin has been going up and up and up. Number go up, as they say. I found this New Scientist book very useful because it gives an overview. I knew most of the bits, but I hadn't gotten the bigger picture. As you can see, I got this in October 2020. I found it a gripping read. After that, I also got Trading in the Zone. Excellent book. This was recommended on a video on YouTube, which persuaded me to invest in Bitcoin. We'll look at that in a later video. I had looked at Bitcoin on this channel 3 years ago. There, I was essentially using the tools that we use when looking at anything. If we're doing technical analysis, if we're looking at the moving averages, candlesticks, and the rest, we can use that to trade shares, currencies, commodities, or whatever. So I could trade Bitcoin, but I didn't really know what it was. I didn't know how massive it was. I only got back into it after watching some videos on YouTube, which were very compelling. So why now? Aside from the fact that it's been hitting record highs, we can look at the supply of money. So this is the Fred website. The link is in the description below the video. We can see here that the amount of money out there has been increasing. And this jump up happened during the Great Recession, when the banks needed to be bailed out. After that, we had the longest bull market in history. And so the economy was firing along and should have generated loads of taxes, the debt should have been paid off, and so on. Of course, that didn't happen. Instead, money printing went into overdrive. So here we're at 4 trillion. Today, we're at 7 trillion. So we can see here, this was the Great Recession, and whenever attempts were made to lower quantitative easing, lower money printing, the economy couldn't cope. And now it's surged up to unprecedented levels. 2 things I wanted to say before ending this introduction were Michael Saylor and a Bitcoin price chart. So Michael Saylor, earlier on this year, became the champion of Bitcoin. His analysis as the CEO of his company was that money was like a melting ice cube. If you store all your wealth all your value in money, it loses its value. It evaporates. And so he championed that other CEOs, other companies should keep their wealth in Bitcoin, which was the strongest money out there, as shown by the rapid increase in its price. Because its supply is very restricted in its design. There can only ever be 21 million Bitcoins. So Michael Saylor created an online event earlier this year where he explained the analysis that he did, the steps you have to take as a CEO to be able to add Bitcoin on your books. And he talked to Elon Musk, who subsequently bought 1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin and has made more money from that position than Tesla has ever made from actually selling cars. More and more massive companies are adding Bitcoin. It has crossed the $1 trillion mark, with more Bitcoin out there than the Swiss franc. This is Bitcoin in dollars. In 2014. So we can see that it went from $400 all the way up to $750 in less than 2 years. Now, if the stock market goes up by 20%, we're in a raging bull market. If it goes up by a factor of nearly 2, that's something special. Also note, we have big drawdowns. So this is worth 400. In a few months, it fell down to about 200. You don't really get that in the stock market. For some shares maybe, but it's a rough ride. Another thing to note is at the moment, this towers in the chart, a massive peak. But if we just move forward a little bit, it doesn't look that big. Because within 6 months, it was up to 1250. By late 2017, it was up to 8,000. So was it this peak? Which used to look like that. But now you barely notice it. Fast forward a little bit more. It's up to 20,000. Where's that 750 peak now? This is called Bitcoin to the moon. And phrases like number go up, since the price just seems to keep going up. It is volatile. So here it was 20,000. It fell quite a bit before going up and up and up again. So it was up to 20,000. Now it's 45,000. What I want to say here is that I think, and we'll be looking at this in the later videos as to why I think this, we're kind of like here. Or maybe here. Yeah, I think here. So we've just broken up and are on our way to a huge peak. I'm expecting Bitcoin to maybe hit 300,000 or more. We'll be looking at why I think that and how credible that is. So first, I just want to lay my foundation with a series of videos that I'll be producing during the week, and then we can see where we stand. In the end, what I want to do in this phase is create a machine learning model, since that's something that I can do. Most of the things that I'll be talking about will be other sources, other people who I found very helpful and who I think you might find helpful as well. Exciting times. No one knows the future. There's no money back, no guarantee. But Bitcoin is simply better, and I'm happy to have my position on record. If you have any questions, please post away. It's a tough journey, and there's lots to take on board. It takes years, even for experts. Though due to the work of others, who we'll come across, it's easier now than ever. For those who prefer to keep their head in the sand, have fun staying poor.